News Radio 102.9 KARN. First News with Kevin Miller, joined by Senator Tom Cotton. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Morning, Kevin. Merry Christmas to you and all your listeners.
Feels more like spring today.
Yeah, no kidding. It's the same way in Washington. We need some snow to liven up the season.
Well, that'll work. You know, it's Arkansas or Washington. The weather will change eventually, right?
Yeah.
Senator Tom Cotton, you have introduced a bill to stop metadata collected from American phone calls from being deleted. Why have you done this?
So, Kevin, it's important for listeners to understand what metadata is. It's not the content of telephone calls. It's not the conversation you and I are having right now on this call. Mm-hmm. It's the simple data that this call creates that you see on your telephone bill every year. My number, your number, the time and date and duration of the call, multiplied by several billions because it was collected up until last weekend from a wide swath of telephone companies. That's the proverbial haystack. The needle in the haystack are the phone numbers of folks like those terrorists out in California. And when you get phone numbers like that, whether it's after an attack or preferably before an attack through other intelligence sources, you want to have the haystack and you want to be able to search it immediately. What we've done in the new program, which I opposed, is to shorten the time that we collect the haystack and leave it with telephone companies, which inevitably is going to introduce delays into the system at a time, as we saw in California last week, when hours and minutes can truly matter if there's a follow-on attack planned.
Some would say that it invades privacy. Would you say that that's true or not?
I respectfully disagree with people who make that argument, although I understand their position. I think some of it is confusion about what the program actually did. Again, it didn't address any content, it's specifically that metadata, which the phone company already has anyway. And in fact, I would submit that your privacy is better protected with that being in the hands of an agency like the NSA that is predominantly made up of military and ex-military personnel who, I'm sorry, I trust because I believe they're motivated by patriotism. And I also oversee on the Intelligence Committee. Then your privacy is protected by having that data in the hands of private telephone companies who have a profit motive and understandably will want to use that data for their own revenue-generating purposes, whether it's selling it to other companies or using it to target, your internet or your emails for ads and so forth. So I think the program was both legal and effective, constitutional, and I just don't think that we should be eliminating a program like that while we face a heightened threat environment.
Senator Tom Cotton on with me. You watched President Obama speak to the nation on Sunday night about ISIS. Your take on what he had to say?
I'm afraid the president is a wartime president who doesn't realize it. We had 14 Americans killed last week by the Islamic State in California, and the president is lecturing us about political correctness and ineffective gun control. His strategy apparently is to do more of the same of what got us to the point where the Islamic State is capable of killing
Are you there?
an aircraft out of the sky in Sinai.
Now, repeat the last part of what you said, Senator. For some reason, you dropped out there.
Sorry about that, Kevin. So I just think his strategy is apparently just doing more of the same that got us to this point where the Islamic State now controls territory the size of Indiana and Syria and Iraq and is able to kill Americans and to kill civilians at restaurants and ballparks in downtown Paris. And unless we shift course, unless we get serious about defeating the Islamic State and empowering our military and our intelligence to fight the global war on terror, I'm afraid more Americans are ultimately going to die.
Senator Tom Cotton, thank you very much for your time this morning.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Kevin.
Appreciate you being on.
Merry Christmas.
You too. 6:58 here at KARN. Let's get a look at traffic.